2 years ago of a drug overdose. And it was a really difficult time. And I spent a lot of that time writing a poetry collection, which is now finished, about my relationship with him and about the drug addiction. But the poems about him just keep coming. And not only about him, but also about my brother, who's an addict as well. So these are some poems that I've written after the collection finished. The first two are about my dad, and then the second two are about my brother, and I've got the final one to share with you after. Just a quick note, these are pretty short, so there's no need to clap in between. You can just wait and clap at the end if you think they're worth it. Okay? So, the first one is called 2 years. 2 years. I have never wanted to be alone more than I do right now. To block the sounds outside from seeping in, children pushing scooters, the thick slap of laundry being pinned to a line, footsteps on floorboards upstairs. Everything inside me rushes, rages against the noise, the persistent presence of people, cats, birds, televisions, all existing when really, only you should exist today. The anniversary of your death. The day when you began pressing me down, 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 until I sit here now hating all the things I used to love. This one's new. It's called What Grief Has Become. When I think of you, I'm sad. Not lonely or regretful or guilty, just sad. That bottom line emotion that tells me something's wrong, something's missing. I would have called you today to talk about my dress, my Welsh and rustic wedding. You always said I should get married, shouldn't waste my hips. I know you would have listened too, told me it was great, called me honey, put down the phone when the neighbors came in. I'm sad we'll never do this again. Never talk in conversational code, me calling you, you listening to me, both of us pretending you're not really an addict. And I'm not really calling so early just to hear your voice before it starts to slur. You guys want to clap, I feel it. It's probably good. You can clap if you like. Okay, thank you for listening to those. So, in addition to my dad's stuff, I've been writing a lot about my brother too. And one of the things that happened after my dad died was my brother relapsed, which was really tricky because we're really close. So I started going to Families Anonymous, which is like a place where you can go if any of your family members have drug or alcohol problems. And one of the things that they told me was that you can never ask what-if questions. You can't ask questions about what might happen in the future, which I do all the time. So this piece is called What If I Ignored FA's Advice? What if I ignored FA's advice? What if you pop a vein, romance a blood clot straight to your heart, and pick up another dirty needle? What if you crash your car again, or worse, the Harley Dad left you after he died, turn it to scrap metal? What if you stop breathing on another sticky floor, or under the Kensington Bridge, the lawless land? What if you forget how far we've come, the battles, the howling nights, the soldiering on, and I'm left here to remember it all on my own? Okay, don't worry. Okay, this one's called By Default, and it's the first time I've ever read it. By default, this life is because of you. The anxiety, the guilt wringing me out, coercing me to stay in bed, never work, never eat, never speak. I live the life of an addict too, by default. Watch you shoot up, feel the needle, agree how nice it would be. So nice. To live without pain, to forget our childhood, carpets full of dog shit, the hot summer nights and sore throats, the screaming. But still I face it, bear the brunt while you take a little pill or prick your arms until they bleed, so you can flee to a place that, just for now, gives you the relief that I'll never have. Okay, so just to prove that I'm not miserable and only think about death and drugs and addiction, poems for my partner, so it's a little bit of a sappy piece. I hope you enjoy it. It's called Most Days. Most days I forget my body, forget the plump forearms covered in chicken skin just like Dad's, or the purple marks that stretched up my stomach like talons after his death. I forget the tiny craters on my face and the perfect cigarette burn seared into my calf, just out of sock's reach. Most days I bump into you, don't notice how my feet move or where my arms swing the girth of my belly, because I'm busy listening to the sound of your voice, watching you point at magpies, touching briefly the small of your back. It is only when you mention how soft I am, or touch my freckles with the tips of your fingers, that I remember my body again, its shape, the space it carves out, and think how grateful I am to share it with you.